Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another Summer Bash 2017 slash Christmas in July. And we have another stinker from the movie from the year 2011. This is a comedy starring Ryan Reynolds. Yep, thank God for Deadpool because that saved his career. And Jason Bateman, and it's the Switching Bodies movie called The Change Up. Now, before I rip this movie a new one, I don't have much to say about it because it's very forgettable. I'm gonna say this. There are a few things I liked in this movie. One, Olivia Wilde, when she's there, she's gorgeous in the movie, and she has this amazing dark hair, beautiful eyes, a soft voice, and I think she's fine in the film. She's not a cartoon. Second, the movie, Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman have some decent chemistry together. I don't think they're that bad together as a duo. And three, thanks to this movie, Ryan Reynolds learned he was much funnier later on with Deadpool, and that was thanks to a film like this because this film started the R-rated train for him. He had done Van Wilder, but this was an R-rated summer movie, and but the reason it's R is just there's a lot of problems. Like, first of all, why is there CGI in this movie? This is a comedy. This is not a freaking space movie like Guardians of the Galaxy or like Galaxy Quest or The World's End or freaking This Is the End. No, this movie does not need CGI. You have CGI tits. No. You have CGI anus from a baby. No. And you have a CGI a girl's pregnant stomach that's CG. I'm like, why did you put CGI in this movie? It's not necessary. We don't need CGI boobs. I like to see the real thing. I don't want to see some CGI version on when Leslie Mann is taking a shit and then she goes in the bed and then they show her tits and I'm like, they're fake. They don't look real. They look too big and they're CGI and they look terrible. And yeah, the film is disgusting. I don't think the raunchy humor. This is the raunchy humor you get in this movie. Ryan Reynolds likes to have sex with pregnant women. Hey, I like pregnant women, but it just is a CGI version. No, there's a scene that he's doing porn, which thank God I don't have to see the whole thing. He's fingering a freaking older woman's asshole, and I'm like, yeah, this is really gross. I'm glad I didn't see this in the theater. And she says this brilliant dialogue of, "Oh, it's like a Christmas in my ass," and I'm like, oh my god, this dialogue is painful. Also, this movie is way too long. Comedies should be 90 minutes. They should not be an hour and 40 minutes or almost 2 hours. You know how long I saw the extended cut of this movie, the unrated cut. You know how long this movie is? An hour and 52 minutes. Why? There are scenes that go on way too long. There's a lot of subplots that go nowhere where like Alan Arkin, he's in the film, Leslie Mann is in the film, and there's a bunch of subplots with these children. I think Jason Bateman's daughter or something at a ballet recital or whatever. It's painful. It's just trying to be sappy and try to have a heart. Because basically Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, they have their separate lives where Bateman is the responsible adult with his kids and Ryan Reynolds is the slacker, bad boy that curses and and is disrespectful and has sex with any girl. And basically, they take a piss in the fountain, which is not funny, and say, "Man, I wish I had your life. Man, I wish I had your life." And they switch bodies, and basically the comedy ensues. But this film was never funny. I never found this film hilarious. I thought Brian Reynolds was trying, like the scene where he goes, "Oh, num nums." I'm like, see, that led to his humor in Deadpool, which is a much better film than this. It didn't have bad CGI anuses and boobs. At least with Vanessa, Marina Baccarin, we saw her body. It wasn't CGI, and it wasn't a body double either. It was real. I like real skin, not fake CGI looking skin. But anyway, it's not just about that. It's not funny. I tried to laugh at this movie. I rented it in the library a couple of years ago. It's just like Horrible Bosses. It's just raunchy to be raunchy, and it tries to shock people with its humor. There's a scene where the baby craps in freaking Jason Bateman's face. It's like chocolate pudding, you know that, but it's not funny. It's bodily humor, and that's just not funny to me anymore. And you know, I think there's a fart joke, piss joke, and just fingering a woman's ass is not funny. Uh, Ryan Reynolds pretty much has to be forced to be with Olivia Wilde. There's a scene that she talks to him because it's him it's Jason Bateman inside of his body, and he's like she's all over him. That he sets her up. Jason Bateman's character sets her up with Ryan Reynolds, and they go to a baseball game, and then immediately she wants to have sex with him. I'm like, yeah, that's not how it works. And basically, yeah, I love seeing Olivia Wilde in her panties. That never bothers me. And at least her boobs aren't CGI like the ones with Leslie Mann. It looks horrible. And just the toilet humor didn't work. It's just really out of place. It's way too long. The film is as long as 21 Jump Street, but at least that movie had fun action sequences. It was funny, and the two leads have amazing chemistry and carry the film despite the long running time. Here it was just unnecessarily long. It's got stupid humor. It's a blind on Ryan Reynolds as a comedic actor because the guy can be very funny. If you've seen Deadpool or Van Wilder, the guy knows what he's doing. But when you give him a shitty script like this, it fails miserably. And it was the summer release. It came out in early August. I'm glad I didn't see this in the theater. I would have been like, this is really gross. Like some of the gross out humor just rubbed me the wrong way, and it was just not for me. So this is kind of one of those forgotten Ryan Reynolds movies. This is when he was being overexposed. He was in like 3 or 4 movies a year. I'm like, dude, just take it easy. You don't have to be in 4 movies a year. Just do one film at a time. If I see him in Deadpool 2 next year, that's all I need to see him in. I don't need to see him in 3 other movies that are like limited release shitty films. This year he has a chance with what was it, that Hitman's Bodyguard or something like that with Samuel Jackson. That might be a winner. It was the trailer looked a little bit pretty cool. I mean, it didn't look that bad. But Reynolds should stick with Deadpool because it's what's making him millions and it's keeping him from being obscure. And basically, I'd rather see Green Lantern than this because at least Green Lantern, the CGI, I don't think looked that bad, and it was in space, so it made sense. And Blake Lively is all natural, and thanks to that movie, him and Ryan Reynolds and her got together, and they made a nice, beautiful baby. So that's at least that year. That was a nice consolation prize because this movie was a complete failure too, and people put it in their worst of the year, and I'm like, yeah, because it's a very disgusting comedy that didn't make me laugh at all. I don't remember a single joke that made me laugh, and it just fails as a movie. It's just a bad comedy. It's a bad body switching movie, which I've seen that already in Freaky Friday and in other films, and it fails. It's just I don't know what else to say because comedies, it's either funny or it's not, and this wasn't one of them. So sorry. Anyway, Change Up is a bad movie. It has a decent cast, but it could have been a lot better, a lot shorter too. You don't need 20 minutes of filler in a and padding in a freaking comedy. That never works. It just makes a comedy go too long, and I'm like, just wrap this up already, please. And then when they switch lives again, they try to be more responsible. You know how the movie ends? Ryan Reynolds and Olivia Wilde are having sex, and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna come up with this new position," and I'm like, a sex joke at the end of a freaking movie. Yeah, I'm not so not buying it. But like I said, Olivia Wilde is beautiful in the movie. She's a gorgeous woman to look at. Great actress. I like her in a lot of stuff. And also the movie, Bateman and Reynolds are fine together. And thanks to this movie failing, they didn't get a sequel, and Reynolds is able to do Deadpool. So yeah, that's a consolation. And because of Green Lantern, he met his wife. So that's also a nice consolation. But this movie, it fails. If you haven't seen it, it's worth one watch for Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, but that's about it. The rest of the film is crap, literally and figuratively. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I know this was the shorter one, but I don't remember this movie. I remember it being bad, and there's a reason it got a bad thrashing by critics back in 2011, and it deserved to underperform because it just was not funny. The Hangover is way better than this, the first one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next review.